What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to Almighty Reacts, the home of sports reactions. So today we're going to be reacting to the code, the unwritten rules of fighting in hockey. Since I am a brand new fan to hockey, I've had a couple people recommend me watch this, so we're going to check it out, man. Hopefully by the end of this, I don't have a whole lot of questions when it comes to the fighting in hockey, because I want to change a lot of stuff, you know, as I'm watching the fights. Hey, we're going to put our learning caps on, alright, learning caps on, alright, let's go, let's get it on, alright. The code.
Please, the code. The sport of ice hockey is the only sport on the planet that tolerates fighting and retribution, even though their rules prohibit doing so. Referees will penalize players for breaking the rules, but sometimes the players take matters into their own hands. There are unwritten rules that govern how players
Jesus Christ, pounding that man.
And there are even specific players on hockey teams whose sole job it is to police the game accordingly. These are the enforcers, otherwise known as goons, tough guys, fighters, and cops. And whilst it's their sole job to police the game, the code applies to every player on the ice. These unwritten rules are based on mutual respect for your opponent and protecting your teammates. This is the code.
So there are players that strictly just fight.
Code. Whilst these rules exist amongst players, there is no official record of the rules of the code, except for this video.
Jesus.
And you won't find these in any official rulebook. The NHL, or International Ice Hockey Federation, will always officially decline to comment about any code. This is because they don't want to officially admit that their sport that they govern isn't completely under their control. The players police the game as much as the referees do, and sometimes they police it a little too much. Rule number 2. If you do something bad, expect to pay the price.
Okay.
Let's say that you spitefully whack your opponent with a stick, and for some reason, the referees and linesmen completely missed it. No penalty is called against you, and you seemingly get away with it. I guarantee that the other team saw it, and they'll be gunning for you to avenge your crimes.
For your crimes.
With members of the opposing team looking to return the favour, one way or another. And if you manage to avoid punishment until the end of the game, just wait until you play them again. I guarantee they won't have forgotten.
That's crazy. So they gonna get on your head, huh?
And they won't stop headhunting you until you've paid the price.
That's crazy.
Rule number 3. You do not target stars. The best players on most teams are the star players that score goals and assists. There is an unwritten gentleman's agreement that stipulates that if you don't hit our star players, we won't hit yours. Let the stars score the goals and let everyone else do their respective jobs.
I don't understand that. I don't get that. So if you don't hit our star player, we won't hit your star player. How does that even work? You're trying to win the game. If you're trying to win the game, what do you mean? I'm gonna go for the best player. Like that's the guy I'm trying to take out. I don't understand. Somebody explain that to me in the comments.
Should you unfairly target a star player, expect swift retribution, as per rule number 2.
Okay.
Rule number 4. Ignore rule 3 if that star breaks rule number 2. Sidney Crosby, a generational player that can score goals at will.
I just reacted to Sidney Crosby. He's fired.
A talent so immense that he doesn't need to dive, take cheap shots, or hit anybody when they're down. But he does it anyway. This is totally unacceptable. Once you're a star player that resorts to these tactics, rule number 3 no longer applies.
Really?
And you'll have a bullseye on your back just like everyone else. Rule number 5. No sucker punches.
Okay.
There is a proper decorum to challenge someone to a fight. However, sucker punching someone, i.e. punching them when they're down or not looking, is an unacceptable way of doing so. This is cowardly, and blindsiding someone like this will result in the opposing team taking note. Expect swift retribution as per rule number 2. Lots of it.
Lots of it.
6. Pick on someone your own size or bigger. Unless they instigate it, it is not acceptable to pick on someone who is significantly smaller than you, especially if they're skilled players that do not fight. The rule is simple. Pick on someone the same size or bigger.
What you mean, bro? Everybody can get these hands. No way.
It's someone significantly bigger figure,
I don't care if you're a midget.
you.
I'm whacking your ass.
Verbally or physically agree. To challenge someone to a fight, it's important to stand square onto your opponent. Gesture with the hands, the helmet, or start shaking off your gloves. Dropping the stick is a clear indication that you want to throw down.
Okay.
It's fair to bait them physically or verbally, but if you're wearing a cage or full visor, it's proper etiquette to remove that prior to fighting your opponent. Fighting with a half visor may be morally acceptable in some, but not all, leagues. Rule number 8. Don't back down. When challenged to a fight, especially if you have been guilty of a crime committed on the ice, it is seen as
They keep saying crime, that's funny.
challenge. Backing down.
Wait, why do you back down?
Cool. You will not receive any brownie points with your teammates and expect some form of retribution sometime during the game, legal or not. Rule number 9. You do not turtle. Once
What
you
is
have
turtle?
engaged in a fight, it is not acceptable to turtle, i.e. curl up in a ball to avoid punches.
Okay.
This is seen as cowardly. You
Yeah.
have accepted the challenge to
Duh.
fight, and fight you must. Rule number 10. It is acceptable to premeditate fights. It is deemed courteous to politely ask a player if he wants to fight. Imitate.
Politely ask him, excuse me, sir. Would you like to fight in the next 3 minutes? That's crazy. Hockey's lit.
You want to?
I love hockey now.
Square up? Yeah,
You asking him? Oh, you just...
This is the gentlemanly way of instigating a fight, and a fine example of good code etiquette. If a premeditated challenge is
The
accepted,
words that they're using, what the hell?
visors removed before you fight.
The words that they're using, crime,
Actually remove the hands
etiquette,
completely and
politely,
sleeves.
when it comes to violence.
Hands as well as their own.
I love this shit.
Is the ultimate mark of respect.
Let's go, get ready.
Rule number 11. You do not punch someone lying down. Once
Okay, so this is the one that I was kind of debating on my other video, where I said the referee should let them fight when they hit the ground. So this is actually like a rule between players, so you don't fight once you hit the ground. I get, okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense.
reach the ground, and one or both combatants have hit the ice, you must stop immediately. They are in a defenseless position. It is dishonorable to hit someone when they're down, especially if they can't defend themselves. The punishment and retaliation for breaking this rule is severe. Rule number 12. You do not fight goalies unless you are a goalie or they
What you mean? They got every pad for every sport on. What? If anything, they can't fight me. They're protected. I'm not.
Goalies, like stars, have a job to do, and it doesn't involve fighting. Unless they challenge you and it's obvious that they're
I think if you're on the ice, your job is to fight if you have to fight.
It is acceptable for both goalies to fight each other, even if no incident has happened between them. Rule number 13. Brawling is fair game.
That's crazy.
It is perfectly acceptable to retaliate to multiple infractions made by both sides. If every player steps in at once, it's fair game to challenge someone completely unrelated to the original altercation and fight with them. This is to prevent the opposing player from applying damage to your teammates and to temporarily eliminate them from the game by getting them and yourself sent to the penalty box. Rule number 14. Be wary of pests.
What are those?
A pest is a player whose sole job it is to antagonize and annoy you and your teammates in order to draw penalties. They will result in anything from verbal abuse to underhand tactics to licking your face. Most of them to a fight.
What the
and then
hell?
run away, leaving you with an instigate penalty. Be cautious when you challenge them to a fight, because that's exactly what they want you to do. Rule number 15. The goal rule. You stand up for your teammates, whether it's your job or not. Whether you're an enforcer or not, if you are on the ice and foul play happens, you are expected to stand up for your teammates, regardless of size, weight, or style.
That's a good rule.
These players will stand up for you, through thick and through thin.
Jesus Christ, how is he still standing up? Did y'all see that? Look at this.
Thick and
Bow,
through thin.
bow, bow,
And
bow.
you see this guy? These
Bow,
players
bow, bow, bow.
thick and through thin. And it is seen as
Oh my
counterparts
God.
and not in the favor. Teammates will notice if you don't have their back, so be wary because one day it might be you that needs the help. The most interesting thing is that the code is open to
That man was just getting whacked, boy.
Two players have the exact same interpretation.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you need to have your teammates back.
These are the rules that ice hockey players live and die by, even if they're not written down. When regular rules aren't enforced properly, the code dictates how justice is served.
Gotcha.
In conclusion, there are some amazingly talented players in the sport of ice hockey.
That's a fact.
People whose job it is to protect them. These men and women have given up being stars themselves, taken lower paychecks, significantly shortened their own careers, and risked their lives and future health, all to protect their team.
They're heroes.
The rules of the game fail to do
They're
so.
fallen heroes.
These are noble warriors who will fight with honor and within the unwritten rules of the game. They deserve our absolute respect.
That's fire. I didn't know there were people who were. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for today. I fully understand the fighting rules now. I shouldn't say fully, because there are a couple things that I have questions about, you know. You guys heard it throughout the video, so go ahead and answer them in the comments if you do know the answer. I really enjoyed this video. I didn't know that there were players that were specifically put into a role where they're supposed to protect their teammates and fight. That's pretty cool. Alright, so that's gonna do it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This is Almighty Reacts. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.